Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily PIB analysis video. After 2 days I am recording this lesson and a very good evening to all of you. And in the evening these videos come, in the morning the Hindu editorial videos they come, and a PDF you will get on the Telegram channel. And 25th March it is about to end. This month is also going to be ended soon, and these are the numbers there you can call and you can ask for these pen drive courses by StudyIQ. All updated courses are launched, especially the UPSC one. That updated one is on the store now. MCQ one that I gave to you yesterday, two-factor authentication process. This is related to the social media logins. Recently the issue that came in the news that Facebook released this data that they had these passwords and usernames of all these Facebook users in the text format, and those were accessible to the employees. So these kind of things, they are really a problem, and the issue of privacy becomes much more important here, because whole world is using these media platforms, but the data centers and the data localization is a great matter here. We have been demanding that these particular data centers should be there in our country. So till the time these things are not shifted to our country, the issues they will remain here. Recently the news when it came as hundreds of millions of Facebook, Instagram passwords, they were exposed, and users advised to change access codes as soon as possible. And around 200 to 600 million users passwords and their accounts, they were visible to Facebook workers, and it was going on for years. So these are main issues here. So if they ask you what is this two-factor authentication, it's a two-step verification process. Okay. Next, Jacinda Ardern is Prime Minister of New Zealand, and she remained in much highlight after the attacks which were there, and in a mosque the person killed 49 people. So she was in news. IATA perfectly is a trade association of the world's airlines. More than 290 airlines are members of it, and the headquarters is in Quebec, Montreal, Canada, not in Geneva. So this is wrong, and only one is the correct answer here. Next, Hayabusa II. It's a spacecraft by JAXA, Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency, and they sent it to the asteroid Ryugu. The way we were talking about the NASA's OSIRIS-REx, and that was also going towards asteroid Bennu, and it was collecting the samples, and in 2023 it will bring back those samples. The same thing is being tried here on this Ryugu asteroid, and one pellet gun was shot in the surface, and the sample would be collected and it would be taken back to Earth. So the same thing is going on, and Ryugu is the asteroid and Hayabusa II is the spacecraft, JAXA's. Recently news, army worm or the fall army worm, especially if I tell, that attacked crops in Asia, also is a moth. As I told you in detail 2-3 times, I have told you in maybe in the Hindu editorial video or in PIB video, both. It's a moth, and it has a larva stage where it consumes a lot of amount of these crops. Mainly the maize crop is attacked by it, and it is a native to Americas, not Africa or Asia's. Next, Election Commission's data, general election to 17th Lok Sabha 2019 and the state legislative assemblies of Andhra Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Odisha and Sikkim. The schedule was announced on March 10th, and section 126 of Representation of Peoples Act 1951 becomes much more important here, because it talks about all the restrictions, all the particular guidelines that, which are to be followed by these media houses, by these parties and all, and it prohibits displaying any election matter by means inter alia of television or similar apparatus during the period of 48 hours before the hour fixed for conclusion of polls in a constituency. Means if in my constituency the polling is gonna end by 4 p.m. in the evening, so from this 4 p.m. 48 hours before that, this particular time of 2 days, there would be total prohibition on any kind of displaying or of election matter in the media or anywhere else, so that the election process is not influenced by it. But anyhow, they distort this particular issue, and with the help of some kind of loopholes in these guidelines, they misuse these provisions, and openly they run these particular opinion changing agendas on the news channels. So that is a problem. And as I told you that before 48 hours, when the polls would be concluded in a constituency. That would be the time frame. And section 126A of the RP Act 1951, which prohibits conduct of exit polls. Exit polls are totally prohibited. And when these elections are in multiple phases, then when these election voting would start on that day, when that particular time would be fixed, from that particular time, and I'm talking about the first phase, from this date till the time the last phase is concluded, and 48 hours after that, they cannot display any kind of exit polls there. They cannot influence the people by showing any kind of result or something like that. Sometimes they are running these things with a small declaration that you should not take this as a final outcome or on all, but that line goes very fast and it's not clear to normal people, and people watch these things as the a proper mood or a proper result in a way, and they always interpret these things in a way, and they would try to ensure these things in people's mind that this is the mood that is going on for this country and this party is gonna win these much seats. And these kind of informations are coming from our sources, and we have collected a sample and all, and those samples are always faulty. Very small number of people they are interviewed, maybe they are not interviewed, and they will show these things like that we have taken a big sample and these are authenticated and close to the reality data. So these things are not allowed, but these things are mostly flouted. IT Act 2000 and ECI guidelines and these communication guidelines and all these are relevant here. So in the mains examination you can give reference to all these things. And next, Press Council of India, it has also issued guidelines regarding that how the press should behave, how they should give objective reports about elections, and the campaign along communal or caste lines is banned under election rules. So the same thing should be followed on the media or in the press also. They should eschew those reports where there is a danger that people would be provocated negatively and the brotherhood would be in danger and elections would be in some kind of a fear, stress, or some kind of rioting may happen there. And elections should be peaceful, so that maybe some things are a reality and maybe some people are inciting violence, but those informations they should not publish in the press, so that this thing cannot provoke other people further. Next, publishing false or critical statements in regard to the personal character and conduct of any candidate or in relation to candidature or withdrawal of any candidate or his candidature to prejudice the prospects of that candidate in the election. These things are totally banned. They should not be there. So these are guidelines by Press Council of India. And you see, press is not expected to indulge in canvassing of a particular candidate. The thing that we see all the time these days, that they would show a kind of a story, a kind of a particular data set, and they would prove that some particular candidate or some personality is so great and people are following him in a great way, and they would pose this thing like that he is the best candidate available, so that election process can be influenced. So that thing is not allowed, and the biggest flouting we see of this particular norm. And it is also given in the guidelines that you should give opportunity to speak to the opposition candidate also, or the other party candidates also, and they should also not be ignored. And you cannot run agendas in press, and they should not publish or accept any kind of advertisement at the cost of public's exchequer regarding achievements of a party or government in the power. That thing is totally banned. Next, iAmA, Internet and Mobile Association of India. This has become so important because maximum number of people, they are watching these informations, news and everything on mobile platform, maybe in social media or in some apps. So iAmA becomes much more important, and recently this meeting held between Election Commission of India and all these big social media platforms, Twitter, WhatsApp and Facebook and all, and iAmA was also the stakeholder there, and they came up with a voluntary code of ethics. But you see the word here, voluntary, means these are not enforceable. Voluntary code of ethics, and these are ethics. So these are not guidelines, but it is up to them that how they are using them and how they are keeping this election safe and secure. And the guidelines by the News Broadcasting Standards Authority, these are also out. They were there since 2014, and very important guidelines are there, but all of them, nearly all of them, are being flouted. No privacy is ensured, and they never abhor any kind of nudity, some kind of very dirty advertisements they run on these news channels. And regarding national security also, there are many questions, and they want to cover everything. They want to create sensation, and they want to always attract people to watch their news and all. So they never ensure neutrality. That is the thing that is under biggest threat. Neutrality is nowhere visible in the media today. So Election Commission can only do this thing, that Election Commission of India would complain about these news channels to the News Broadcasters Association, and there also there are no hard provisions. They would only give a kind of a threat to these news channels, and they would have to follow that. So the things are not very strict, and things are not that much in a way enforceable. So that is the reason that they take advantage of the situation, and they are actually destroying the democracy with their agendas. And just opposite should happen. They should be the protector of democracy. They should be the help for the people of India. But what they are doing, that is totally different, totally opposite to it. They are totally focusing on their own profits, their own TRPs, and there is a strong nexus between parties and the news media houses. So open flouting of these norms is going on, and there is no hesitation to accept this reality. This is totally real. Niti Aayog to organize FinTech Conclave. This has also become very important. You see the stakeholders like SDFC Bank, IndusInd Bank, ICICI Bank, SBI, Tata Capital, Bank Bazaar, PhonePe, MobiKwik, Paytm, PayU, all these digital platforms which are being used for these payments and some kind of financing and all. So they are based on internet and technology, and they are the future actually. And you see 60% of retail and SME credit is coming through this particular way, and US $1 trillion, that is the expectation by this industry in the future. They have projected this much amount, and that would be digitally dispersed by 2029. So within 10 years, $1 trillion would be particular disbursed by this fintech model, where all these stakeholders are active participants. And it has attracted nearly US $6 billion investment since 2014. That means it is one of the brightest area that is attracting FDI for the last 4 or 5 years. As you see, maybe there are problems, there are stagnations in all other sectors, but the media sector, the social media sector, that is booming, and this internet platforms, digital technologies, they are on a boom. Okay, so this one day long FinTech Conclave is going on, and it is by Niti Aayog. It has invited all these stakeholders that we discussed here. Next, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It is regarding the tuberculosis. World Tuberculosis Day was there on 24th of March, and Preeti Sudan, who is the health secretary here, she presided over the function, and she stressed, and she actually gave many more datas. She said India has been able to free of polio. We have got the certificate for that. Free of yaws, that's a bacterial disease. MNT, maternal and neonatal tetanus eradication we have done. So we have got certificates for all of them. And for the MNT, we have become the first country in the world which has eradicated it. So we have achieved great milestones here. Instead of being a developing nation, instead of being there being huge population and sometimes unmanageable population, but still because of our dedication, because of our programs, because of our policies, this thing is really commendable that we have got this particular status. And now the next target is the tuberculosis, because many people are struggling with this, and the MDR TB issue, multi-drug resistant TB issue, that is very scary. And India is now closest ever to covering all TB cases with 25 21.5 lakh new TB patients notified. Means it's not a fortunate thing that we know about these cases, and these cases, so many people are being identified now, but it's a good thing that at least we know about them, and now the treatment can be followed, and these people are registered under the government platforms. If those would have gone to private sector, then it may be a problem that we would never know about their TB status. So the knowing the status is very important thing. And after that, universal drug susceptibility testing that has been rolled out. Shorter and newer treatments have been rolled out countrywide, and patient provider support agency interventions, these are also going on. It led to a 35% increase in TB notification from the private sector. So that is very, very important, because the people who are getting treatment from the private sector, they actually hide their TB status. So those cases should also be registered, and that is going on. Nikshay Poshan Yojana, where 15 lakh TB patients, they are getting nutritional support. Rupees 240 crores has been dispersed as direct benefit transfer in their bank accounts, and they are getting good nutrition, and that is supportive in their treatment. And TB free status we want as soon as possible. 2025 is our target year for this eradication, but that is a very ambitious goal. And fixed dose combination regime, that is also going on under it. And the main thing that is a problem, that is the testing of TB, and many times these testings, they fail, and they cannot tell these things with a surety that that person is affected by TB or not. So some skin tests used to be there at first, then we came towards some better testings, then it got evolved, and now the nucleic acid amplification test, and that is cartridge based CBNAAT, that is coming from the biotechnology sector. And these CBNAAT based labs, 1180 labs, are operational throughout the country, and the treatment success rate, that is also improved from 25% to 83% now. 25% is very old data, but the present one is 83% treatment success. And you see that death rates are also coming down. So the TB issue is really a challenge for us, and we have to achieve many more milestones here, because it is a scary issue now. And the MDR TB, multi-drug resistant TB, where the first line drugs are not working, and second line, third line drugs are being developed, and very few antibiotics are available till now. So it's a great challenge for us, and till 2025 year, it's a very, very ambitious thing. Now the MCQs, try their answers, try their additional datas, and look for the related information. From these informations, you will have direct or indirect questions for sure in this prelims examination. So the PDF you will get here, and the Telegram channel's link is also given on this Facebook group. So you can send me a request, I would approve. Thanks a lot, keep watching, and please join the Telegram channel.